Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition right here on 92.9 KVRE and streaming online worldwide at kvre.com. With Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, a huge week in sports this week. College football is as exciting as ever. The World Series matchup is set. The NBA is back in business. And of course, NFL is rolling right along. The playoff picture is developing for high school football in the listening area, and big things are happening all across the world of sports. But this week will begin right here at home with National Park College Nighthawk Athletics. And if you missed the big announcement this week, the best kept secret in Hot Springs is now out. 7 months ago, NPC men's basketball captured the NJCAA Division II National Championship, and for 7 months, I've been hard at work behind the scenes with my team, spending many late nights editing more than 80 hours of footage in front of our computer screens. This week, I'm proud to announce that the project is finished. I can't wait to share it with the world. Stay Down, a championship story, the video movie recap of the National Park College Nighthawks' historic run to the NJCAA Division II National Championship, will release November 11th on YouTube. NPC takes you on a journey from Hot Springs to Danville, Illinois, with exclusive player interviews and never-before-seen footage inside team practices, the locker room, and a look at the many celebrations that followed. And what does Stay Down mean? Well, you'll have to watch the movie to find out. Tracy, I'm extremely excited about this project, very proud of the way that it turned out. Finished the movie this week. I think that everybody's really going to enjoy this one. It's really gritty, really emotional. You may cry watching this with the way that it's put together, but it's been such a joy to relive the magic of these young men and their accomplishments reaching the pinnacle of college basketball 7 months ago.
Mark, it's exciting just to know, being a part of not only you being so intensified with it, but the city of Hot Springs and the state of Arkansas bringing back a trophy. And, of course, on a national level, you can't get any better than that. But you being a part of it, and along with your kids and you calling in here, on a daily basis, it's something that, you may never experience again, and be able to document it like you did was just unbelievable. So I can't wait for it to come out. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for NPC as a whole and for everybody. And one of the biggest, coming from a dad's point of view, just the excitement that you had your kids up there too, man, is experience. That's something that you guys will be talking about forever, an experience for them that's just unbelievable. So a big kudos to that, and a lot of good things going on with that, and it's just excitement all around.
My wife and my kids had the opportunity to see the film. Of course, the kids are in it a little bit here and there. You'll have to keep an eye out for Ben and River, but certainly special thanks to my wife, because boy, for the past few months, late nights in front of the computer screen. Of course, the week where I was away in Illinois, she held down the fort, and she's been my biggest supporter through everything. So it's been really, really fun, and I thank her for everything that she did to help me add, I guess, filmmaker to the list of all the other things that I'm already doing on my plate. Flag football coach, sports announcer, so it's been busy, but it's been fun. NPC is going to hold a world premiere watch party for the movie Monday, November 11th on campus in the Frederick Dirks building. That's the nursing building on campus at 3:30 p.m. We'd love to see you there. And then following the screening of the film, Nighthawk men's basketball will take on Central Baptist College across the parking lot in the Kettle at 5:30. So once again, November 11, the movie is called Stay Down, a championship story, and I think you're really going to enjoy what we've put together here at National Park College. It's a big week for Nighthawk Athletics this week. Not one, but two championships up for grabs for its many athletic programs. First, men and women's soccer battling the University of Arkansas Cossatot later today with their respective Region 2 championships on the line. The women are looking for their second straight, the men looking for their third in a row, and the Nighthawks can lock up the postseason with a win, a draw, or even a loss if it's within 2 goals. And of course, the postseason picture looks a little like this. We don't know who NPC would face quite yet, but we do know that the men will take the road to Illinois to take on the Region 24 winner, while the women will make their way to Missouri to take on either St. Charles Community College or St. Louis Community College. So a lot of postseason road trips coming up for NPC on the soccer side. And then on the cross-country side, men and women's cross-country battles for the Region 2 championship also today up in Northwest Arkansas in Bentonville. Men and women's soccer has men and women's cross-country, has broken many records this year. Fountain Lake freshman Bethany Brashears has led the charge on the women's side, as well as Ava Ellison from Hot Springs World Class High School. Kind of a big 1-2 punch for the women's squad. And Tracy, on the men's side, Alex Pacheco is a freshman that joined Nighthawk Nation this year from Lakeside High School, and he has had a legendary first year running cross country for NPC. He already broke the all-time 8K men's race record at the college earlier this year, beat it by 33 seconds, and then the following week shatters his own record by a further 28 seconds. That's more than a minute off of the previous record for a program that's been at NPC for a few years now. So he's looking to take the trophy home for NPC in Bentonville this week. A lot of great things happening on the National Park College Nighthawk stage.
You know what's exciting too, Mark, is that these kids on a local level, I mean, this is something that they can share with the other, prospective, athletes at the, county here or the state of Arkansas and join in and they can all see what they can do. They can get an education while they can enjoy whatever it is, whether it's track and field or whatever, basketball. But that's something that they're showing the rest of the county. Hey, look, you don't have to go anywhere else. You come right over here to NPC, and like I said, get a great education, break records, do whatever, and get to see your mom and dad the same day. I mean, that's a special way, but I think it's encouraging for all the athletes around here, the student athletes, as I should say, for them to see exactly what it's like to be a champion and to come, maybe even come one themselves down the road. And then, but like I said, get a great education over at NPC. So accolades to those kiddos trying to make the best of it. And congratulations to the ones that are coming up. But Mark, you've heard us talk about this through the last couple of years that whether it's baseball with the local talent, the basketball, of course, and now track and field and soccer. I mean, who knows what's next for all the athletes here in Garland County.
Yeah, and if you haven't driven through Mid-America Boulevard recently, I mean, there's a lot going on at NPC. New maintenance facility is nearing completion. The Redbud Hall, the brand new dorm, is making tremendous progress this fall. And it's going to add 400 new beds for not only athletes, but other students coming from all across the region, some nationally, some internationally. NPC is growing in ways that, I had a chance to talk to some former Nighthawk students that, were back when it was the Garland County Community College or just National Park Community College. And the way that they've seen this campus and this community grow has been inspirational, so much fun to watch. And boy, the future is really bright over in Nighthawk Nation. You mentioned the student part too, Tracy. During my workday, my journeys bring me all across campus, many different buildings. I happened to walk through Frederick Dirks, which is the nursing building, earlier this week on some other NPC business, and there's just tables. The study rooms are full. I see Nighthawk baseball players, Nighthawk softball players. Everybody's grouped up, focusing on their studies, taking it very seriously. And NPC takes a lot of pride in how many academic All-Americans that the Nighthawk Athletics program has garnered over the years. And there's a reason that NPC is the biggest junior college athletic program in the state of Arkansas.
Well, and I think that has a lot to do with it, what their community outreach. Of course, they go out, as far as not only trying to look at these athletes, but also trying to encourage, businesses to be a part of NPC, because the bottom line is, Mark, funding. It takes funding, and just that simple. And donations, and you're seeing the leadership program from out there going to the Hot Springs Country Club. They're meeting up here at the Web Center, at the Hot Springs Village, around the region. You've done, talks around the area, and of course, I talk about them all the time here on the show. So the main thing is is a community awareness so these athletes can be recognized, and that's a big part of it. Funding is one of the biggest. Now MPC's got one of the largest nursing programs in the state, and you can not only get a degree, but once again, and I keep rehashing this, but man, oh man, how's it feel to go have fun playing what sports you want to play, and then all of a sudden you're getting paid to go to school and come back? Man, nothing like it in the world, Mark. But we got to give kudos to all the folks over there at MPC, you included, that do hard work behind the scenes and making sure that everybody's recognized. And this is something special, and we're going to see it keep growing and growing and growing. My cousin's on the team over there building some of that stuff over there. So it's a big community effort for everybody, and we welcome all the new businesses out there to be a part and to help out. It's never too small to make a call to maybe be a sponsorship or something for one of these teams. The NIL is alive and kicking, and it wouldn't hurt if you guys out there in the world want to help sponsorship. I know MPC is one of our big sponsors here, but these athletes, they need a little help. It's not cheap with gas and traveling and such, and everybody going everywhere, and it takes a little bit. So very community-minded school, and the folks out there, you guys with business or whatever, hey, you know what? Look into it. Contact the folks over at MPC and maybe help out a little bit.
Yeah, you're right, Tracy. Whether it's cheer, trap shooting, men and women's cross country, all the way up through the ranks to your reigning national champion men's basketball team. If you'd like to support the Nighthawks, you can do so by visiting online at np.edu/athletics. And certainly good luck to all the Nighthawks competing for Region 2 championships today. We've got so much to talk about on our show today. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, college football is up next. Big topic, big game coming up for the Razorbacks later today. This is Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, streaming online at kvre.com. Tracy, time to talk some college football now. And listen, 1 week the Hogs are on top of the world, knocking off the number 4 team in the country, and the next week it's a Razorbacks team that seemingly has lost its identity, especially in the second half in the team's first real blowout loss of the season. Tigers got the upper hand on the Hogs. It's a mental game. Football's a mental game, and that one turnover, that one big third quarter interception really turned the tide in this one, don't you think?
Well, I do that, but also, Mark, people got to realize, and I bring this up too all the time, besides talking about the trenches, the game is made of 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And right now, our special teams are not proven to be special at all. The field goal, I think, that we missed, obviously, and I know he came back with a 51-yarder, but if you notice, 10-play drive, 7 minutes off the board, and we come up empty-handed. You know what that does to a team? It just, especially at the collegiate or high school level, pros can, they've got a different attitude, but at the collegiate level, that can really damper a team spirit real quick. I know they rebounded a little bit, but like you said, then you have a turnover. But missing field goals, you start to get a lot of finger pointing, and it's just that simple. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. The missed opportunities there, a couple, like you said, the interceptions. There were several things that we could really look at. Blocking was, I'll be honest with you, was lackluster on the blocking. You didn't see Green scrambling like he normally does on those third down conversions we saw him doing earlier in the year. But give credit to LSU, number 1 defense around, and there's some tough cookies there. You just saw the difference in I don't know, it was almost like men playing against boys because, but here's the deal. They didn't get a sack till the second half, but they didn't let them convert those third down conversions like we had previously. And once they saw that in the second half, the route was on, Mark.
I think that this loss really kind of marks a turning point in the season. Trying to look at this objectively right now, and we talked about this last week, if Arkansas beats LSU, okay, then you have to think that the Hogs have to be ranked in the AP top 25. And now there's a chance at the playoff Probably not. No. I don't know that was ever necessarily the goal this season. I mean, everybody wants to win a national championship, sure, but realistically, I don't know that reaching the playoff or playing for a national title was ever the actual goal for this team. But so you get a very quality win over Tennessee, and you drop a heartbreaker against LSU. So we're at the middle of the road right here. It feels like a crossroads for this team. What is the goal for the Razorbacks right now going forward, where this team is right now with the losses that it has in SEC play? Is the goal now just to get to 6 wins, get to a bowl game, win a bowl game? What do you think?
No, well, obviously they try to commit to that every year, but once again, they had a point to prove, especially bringing in a coordinator, an offensive coordinator that was highly questionable. Everybody know it, love him, hate him. Petrino was very, highly questionable, and this was Pittman's. Am I right? If I win 6 games, I'm right. If I don't, then I'm wrong, and both of us may be out the door. And so, as it is, the 500 season. Yeah, they've got to have 500, but their proven track record right now is they win some, they lose some, they're up and down all around. They have still 2 huge games coming up. Now, I'm not looking past Mississippi State by no means, nor Louisiana Tech, but Ole Miss and Texas coming up. They got a bye week. That's going to help them out a lot, okay? But they're banged up on offense. But, yeah, 500 season was something, because you heard the other announcers, you heard the other naysayers around the region. 4 wins, 5 wins, if they get, because it was just that they graduated some seniors, they had some new coaching staff, and I think after they won a few, that 500, was very accessible. But after that, everybody's got to, I don't know, kind of, but I think the 500 would help them. I don't think that's going to help Pittman's. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's going to help Pittman keep his job. It's just that simple.
You think this is it? You think if this team goes under the bar of expectations, you think Pittman's gone?
I think he's gone. I mean, not so much Texas. They should play a good game against Ole Miss, but by all means, if he loses against State or Tech, I'm going to tell you what, I don't see, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to win those 2 games. They have to. If it's not so much everybody's expecting them to beat Ole Miss or Texas, by no means. But if he somehow pulls one out of his hat like they did Tennessee, because once again, it's up and down, up and down. Well, are we going to be riding the roller coaster up or down when we go against Ole Miss and Texas? You got them back to back. What are you going to do? So I think his job was not in jeopardy a couple of weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, here comes the Boo Birds.
Well, let's talk about today's game. Let's talk about Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. The Bulldogs haven't kept any of their 4 SEC losses within single digits. They're coming off of a 10-point loss to a solid Texas A&M squad.
Correct.
I think they'll certainly pull out all the stops to try to get that first SEC win of the season as they play host to Arkansas today. I think in this one, Tracy, you're in Starkville. You have to find your running game. We said this last week against LSU, 38 yards. 38. That was it. That's all the Razorbacks had on the ground, 38 yards, a season low. This stat is too important to ignore, and the Bulldogs rank 116th in the nation in rushing given up. They give up nearly 200 rushing yards per game. You've got to take advantage of that. In SEC play alone, the Bulldogs are allowing 5.3 yards per carry. You've got to hand the ball to Jackson, Green, Russell, heck, even give the ball to Tusk. I don't care who you get the ball to. You've got to find someone that can run downhill and make it happen.
Well, Jackson is not going to, by no means, going to. I don't even think he's going to play.
He may not.
When coming back, I was a running back for years and years and years. And when you got a high ankle sprain, I'm going to tell you what, you can tape it up so much and put the tape on it and tape it, and you can, have as many physical therapy guys hit you, but making a cut. You can run north and south, but making a cut, which that's what he's known for, okay? He's a slasher. Now, don't get me wrong, at 226, he can still, hit you. But you can tell right now he was not running the ball. Now, play calling, I'm not calling out. I'm not being an armchair quarterback or coach, but, Russell gets the ball 4 times. When you're 255 pounds, I told this to some guys, why did they not have on him on 3rd and 3s when we're trying to, run out of the pocket and Green running for his life? You got a 255-pound back. Why aren't you slamming the thighs of those defensive linemen and wearing them down so they can't, come after your quarterback? He rushed the ball 4 times, Mark, and that was supposed to be a two-headed, like we were talking about, two-headed monster.
Russell has to become more involved.
He's got to, man. Especially like you were saying, 116th in the rush. If Russell's not a major factor in this game, then it's going to be another long one. Now, if you watch the game against A&M, they held their ground for a little while.
That's right.
The latter part of the game, it sort of got away from them, but they held there in the first half. But I'm going to tell you what, if I'm like, once again, I'm not play calling, I'm not doing anything like that, but it's going to have to be a different series. You can't depend on Green's legs anymore, even though he's made some spectacular plays. Obviously, Jackson, I know he's hurt, man. I would hold him out, I'll be honest with you. I'd keep him out you got a bye coming up. Yeah, I would keep him out as long as you can and try to win those last 3 games. But right now, play calling, if we don't rush the ball, then this may be a long day with the Cowbells.
The bright spot for Mississippi State this season has certainly been its receiver, Kevin Coleman. He's been the favorite target for quarterback Michael Van Buren. He has 22 catches for 249 yards and at least 1 reception of 20 or more yards in the past 3 games. Big play potential. This is a perfect recipe for 2 things. 1, Landon Jackson has to get in, pressure the quarterback, and take plays away from Coleman. Take the throw away altogether. But 2, these defensive backs really have to step in, get in front of the ball, stop those big plays. Mississippi State is 9-3 in the last 12 meetings against Arkansas. But if Arkansas can bounce back and put LSU in the history books behind them and move forward with a clean slate, I think Arkansas definitely has the opportunity to come out winners in Starkville.
Well, Jackson, let's back up a little bit. Jackson, okay, everybody's double down on him right now. And what's not happening, Mark, is that the other D linemen are not stepping up. And once again, I'm not going to coach, but we're not seeing enough stunt blitzes. We're seeing some outside safety blitzes and stuff, and they're not getting to the quarterback. It's a delayed blitz, and it's just not happening. You don't do that with the personnel that the SEC has in quarterbacks. They're they can get around too well in the pocket. But Jackson doubled down. The other guys aren't stepping up. We rank almost last in sacks. I mean, it's a situation where if they single him out, he's got to come with authority and make something happen, just like you're saying. Automatically just put it out of the quarterback's hands right now, make them win on defense, which that's a possibility. They stopped A&M for a little while, but as it is right now, I don't see everybody's been doubling Jackson. Penalties too, though, Mark. We forget about that. What the heck? Seven, offensive penalties during major opportunities to score, and that's not even in the red zone, Mark. We are nothing in the red zone right now. That cannot happen. Every time they go down, they've either got to, I say kick a field goal. My goodness, they got to score somehow. I don't know. Maybe going 4th down, but they've got to come up with something better. Opportunities were missed so much last week, and if it doesn't happen, Mark, I don't know what they're going to do.
Let's talk a little bit more about another really big game that happened here in Arkansas last week. Down goes number 1, Harding University. Wow. Boy, they are painting it purple down in Arkadelphia. OBU, the Tigers, Ouachita Baptist University. I listened to Rex Nelson's call I don't know how many times this week. Legendary. OBU, ranked number 9 in the nation, takes down number 1. They storm the field, and boy, they've got new lights at the stadium this year, Tracy.
Yeah, no, they go everywhere.
They just cast a purple shadow on the entire stadium. They left it on all night long.
Oh, absolutely. And, the land of what? What does Rex always say?
The land of milk and honey.
And but not so much of that because it was a defensive game, but 17-13, of course, 51 points averaged by Harding. Unbelievable stand. So congratulations. It's just a shame that it had to. This is almost like the SEC.
You're taking out your own guys.
You're taking out your own guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So congratulations, OBU, though much needed. I think that they're both obviously going to make the playoffs. There's nothing to that, but hopefully they don't get in the same bracket this year.
I know it. You'd love to see them face off against each other one way or another on the national stage. But
they missed one game from it last year. There was one game from it last year, them actually meeting up again. But once again, and I'm going to turn the tide a little bit, and we're going to talk more about this, but Congratulations to you, huh? How about them Ducks?
Yeah, number one in the nation. It's about time.
Yeah, a little respect.
I gloat a little bit here, but here's the deal. Still a long season ahead. Anybody can trip anybody up in this league. And the truth is, you don't have to be number one to win the Natty this year. You just don't. Not in a 12-team playoff here. But Oregon finally staying patient, getting their due. And I'm a little afraid of Georgia sliding all the way up to number 2. I'm going to be honest with you. Georgia, boy, that one loss on the year has lit a fire underneath that Bulldogs team.
Ooh,
if
boy.
it is Oregon-Georgia for all the marbles in January, that's going to be a tough game right there, Tracy.
They put it on. Nobody saw that, what they did to Texas. But, I think there's just a little bit of an edge. When you go to Athens, there's just something special about it. I'll be honest with you. And to see them, the way they handled the Longhorns, once again, inter-squad, inter-conference play right there. But it just doesn't make them tougher. But like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. When they're going to line up, there's going to be 12 at the end. What 12 are going for it? Obviously it's going to be something. I think, and you and I will go into this a whole lot further once they start lining it up, because you're the numbers guy, but seeding in that, how important is the seeding in that, and how do they do that when you got teams that are 1 and 2s? That's going to be something.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very controversial.
Oh, yes.
People are going to hate the system. And I think teams that are very deserving of getting into the top 12 will be left sitting at home.
Got a question for you, Mark. When was the last time you saw a Alabama team out of the top 10?
Boy, when pigs can fly, man. When pigs can fly. Hey, I know Nick Saban is probably really enjoying retirement right now. Absolutely.
Oh, from nothing better than looking outside in, huh?
Hey, speaking of Clash of the Titans, Major League Baseball, the World Series is set. We're going to talk about it when we come back right here on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, streaming online at kvre.com, also on iHeartRadio with Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, the stage is set. I don't know that it was necessarily the World Series that you were hoping for, but it's certainly a great story. Whether you love them or hate them, you've got to admit, Dodgers, Yankees, this is a marquee matchup featuring the game's top 2 superstars going head-to-head for the ring. It marks the first time ever that opposing players coming off of 50 home run seasons face off against each other, and the first time that the home run champions from the AL and the NL go to battle since Mickey Mantle and Duke Snider back in 1956. And the first time since players with at least 9 wins above replacement square off in the World Series since Ted Williams and Stan Musial in 1946. Safe to say, this doesn't happen very often, and when it does, you've got to recognize this is, on paper, one of the biggest World Series matchups the game has ever seen.
Not so fast, my technical wizard. This could be, yes, a long ball affair, but if you look at the pitching staffs on both of these teams, you go back to the ERAs and all that stuff, you want to go with the numbers and stuff, you may have one of the best 2 pitching staffs of all baseball for quite some time. And yes, the Subway Series is gone, but look what the pitching staff for the Dodgers did to the Mets.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they blanked them. They had the one comeback game where they, hey, that little lackluster here, and they scored some runs and stuff. But other than that, zeros. 3 hits, 4 hits, 3 hits. And then we go to Cleveland. Same scenario. So is this going to be a long ball affair or maybe something on the mound? I don't know, but I think it could be a little bit of both. But you're absolutely right. I say my guy. I've been following Ohtani now before he got paid the big bucks. I always just thought he was one of the premier guys, even over in Japan and around the world. But also, this could be one of the biggest media frenzies around, wouldn't you think?
It absolutely has to be. Of course, the 2 teams at the highest payroll in the sport. It's New York versus L.A., East Coast, West Coast, Judge, Ohtani, however you want to look at it. I mean, it's a literal clash of the Titans. And Tracy, when you look at it on paper, like you said with the pitching, or like I said with the offense, this looks like it could be the greatest World Series of all time. Now, I know that you and I probably have differing opinions on what your favorite World Series game of all time was. For me, it was Cubs-Indians 2016 Game 7. Others disagree with me, and that's fine. The one thing that I hope that this World Series is not is a blowout.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing I'm worried about here. And I had a chance to talk with Rich Thompson. He's a former MLB player. We talked about that, said, as good as this looks on paper, and of course I know Game 1's already in the books, but what if it's a blowout? What if it's a sweep? And that takes away some of the luster that's on these guys. Of course, I mean, no matter which way it goes, it's a great story. The Yankees get their first one since, 2009? Judge gets his first ring. Certainly he's a Hall of Fame candidate. Ohtani has been regarded as the second coming of Babe Ruth. That may not actually be super far-fetched with what he's able to do. It's his first postseason appearance ever. He's made it all the way to the final stage. He did not pitch a single pitch this year, despite being one of the game's best hurlers a year ago. And, these guys are both going to lock up their respective MVPs. Judge is a 6'7", 280-pound juggernaut. I'm really excited to see where this goes. But when you talk about Ohtani, if Ohtani is the best player in baseball today, which I think he is, and if he's in the discussion down the road to be the greatest baseball player of all time, which I think he'll be in that discussion, GOAT's got to get a ring, right?
Well, most definitely he's got to get a ring. But I would think also, though, if we got to step back a little bit, if he's going to be in that circle, in that real small circle, as far as the GOAT and being one of the best, he's got to get back on the field. Being a DH is one thing and great but he's got to get back on the field and prove his point. You look at the old school guys back in the day. I'm going to throw it back in the day. Those guys, they played with broken hands, broken knuckles, broken arms. They'd go out there bleeding and they'd still play. They didn't miss games very much, but he's got to get back on the field. But I'm thinking the biggest action right now in Vegas, the biggest action is who's going to have the most hits, who's going to have the most home runs between those two juggernauts, as you called them. But I think that's the biggest action they've got going on right now. Who's going to have, because it may not go 7, it may go 4. Who's going to have the most hits, the most home runs? I think that's, and of course, it's almost like a hockey game. People go to watch the hockey game. You know what they go for? To watch the fighting. That's, that everybody knows that. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be watching this series to see who's going to hit the furthest, who's going to hit the most. I mean, do you agree or disagree?
I mean, the star power is definitely going to be bringing people into this. I was talking about this. My wife and my family and I, we ate dinner earlier this week after a flag football game. We went to a Mexican restaurant here in town, and every single TV was on Major League Baseball. Fine, but everybody in the restaurant was watching. It was Mets Dodgers that was on the TV at the time. Mm-hmm. Everybody was glued to the screen right now. Everybody's talking about Major League Baseball right now. Hey, NFL is king in the U.S. I know baseball is America's pastime, but let's be real. NFL is king. Of course, the Razorbacks are playing. It's fall, college football, all of that. But right now, there's a lot of attention on this game right now. And I think it's because of the star power that we're looking. All-star laden rosters, whether it's the Dodgers or the Yankees. And whoever wins this World Series, I mean, it's going to be one for the ages. I mean, we're looking at Hall of Fame worthy candidates on there looking for their first rings ever. There's a lot of really good things happening with the game right now. And the future of the game, I think, is in extremely good hands going forward. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm more of a Dodgers fan than I am a Yankees fan. If it weren't for the Houston Astros, I'd probably be, a diehard against the Yankees altogether. So I'm probably leaning for LA to get it done in this one.
Well, and here's what another star power like you're talking about, Mark. Who else going to be watching the game live?
Everybody.
Think about Hollywood and who else going to be behind the plate and that kind of deal. Who are the camera going to be flashing to? Because the average seat, just the average, way out there in the nosebleeds, $1,100.
Yep.
Okay, that's just in the nosebleeds. So you're talking star power. You better be star powered if you're going to be sitting behind home plate. I'm just telling you right now, or behind third baseline, or especially behind the Dodgers.
Oh, yes.
Because there's no telling what those are going to go for. So, yeah, star power. Yeah, man, this is what it's all about right now. And then when they go back to New York, what in the world? I mean, one of the two biggest metropolises not only in the United States but in the world. And, of course, the world's going to be watching.
And thousands of miles in between them. You know, I read an interesting story this week talking about, you know, the opener in L.A., such a busy weekend. Like, so if you're listening and you're planning to go to this game, good luck. Because not only is L.A. hosting New York game 1, but the Lakers are in town for the NBA, which has just begun. USC is playing at home on Saturday. Good luck. Good luck going to California on Saturday today because it's going to be insane.
What about flying in? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, really, LAX?
Maybe fly into San Diego and go north. I don't know.
Yeah, what's security going to be like? Man, oh man,
incredible,
unbelievable,
incredible. Tracy, we mentioned the NBA. Basketballs are bouncing once again, and a really cool moment happened. Of course, we all saw this coming. It's really been one of the big moments. I don't want to say in the twilight of LeBron James' career, but you got to think eventually this ride is going to be over. But you saw that game, Lakers Timberwolves, and finally, for the first time ever in the sport, father and son check in together. LeBron James and Bronny James on the court together. I know that LeBron James said in the interview, he said, hey, this game has taken a lot away from me. It's taken a lot. I've had to travel. I've had to be away from my family. I've missed things with my kids. And now I get to go to work with my son. This ain't take your kid to work day. This is we're showing up, strictly business. We're ready to go together day. It was a lot of fun to watch. I know statistically, it wasn't like the big milestone moment where something really amazing happened between them. Those moments will come, but just having that moment and seeing that, I mean, for me as a father to young athletes was certainly inspirational to me.
Oh, I can't even, I imagine and got to watch my boys play with each other, but imagine what that whole scenario was and that, and LeBron, he's worldwide, of course, but to be the proud papa. And if you recall, let's go back 4 months when we first started this thing. We're talking about a kid not highly recruited. He didn't do a whole lot. So where's he going to be at and we'll bring this up later. Where's he going to be at when LeBron leaves? Does LeBron ever leave?
Well, LeBron will, and I don't know anything for sure. LeBron James is not in my text messages on my phone, but I assume that LeBron James will play out this year. I assume that next year will be his final year. That's just a guess.
Right.
But what I think the future will be Bronny James being handed the keys, maybe to the Lakers. And then, of course, you got to know there's another James son coming up in the ranks. It won't be father-son anymore, but it could be two brothers going to battle with the James last name, with Bryce coming up in the ranks as well. And Bryce, his NBA predictions actually look to be stronger than what Bronny even brings to the table as well. It's a great story just to even have Bronny in the league. And yeah, I don't, some people might say nepotism. It's a word that's thrown around. Maybe. Your dad is certainly the face of the game right now. Maybe. Probably has a lot to do with it. I will not discount that. But what I will say is that this is a young man that has put in the work. He was drafted 55th overall in the NBA draft, nearly lost his life due to cardiac arrest on the court. The fact that he's even in this game, I think, is a remarkable achievement, a dream that every kid that ever picks up the rock hopes to achieve. And I wish nothing but the best for him.
Oh, no doubt. We do that all. I mean, think about that. Just the excitement, also what it brings to the league. A little bit of excitement to what pro basketball has lost a little bit, but it's something special. It's always going to be something like that when you get families together. And we've seen this play out before, and hopefully it'll be positive for them.
We're out of time here in quarter number 3, but next week we'll certainly break down the NBA and talk about our favorites for champion of the NBA coming up this season. But when we come back, high school football, no, of course we didn't forget. Very big matchups this week. We'll talk about it when we return. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 at KVRE.
Fourth quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, streaming online at kvre.com, also on iHeartRadio. Tracy, week number 9 of the 2024 season for high school football. The postseason is right around the corner. Many teams in the local listening area still trying to punch their ticket. Some of them already in and trying to increase their seeding potential. A lot of great games happening around the league this week. We'll start with Mountain Pine. They'll take on Magazine. Every game is a must-win game right now for the Red Devils in order to make the playoffs, but none are more important than this one. A Magazine win likely ends the Red Devils' push for the postseason.
Yeah, then they're starting to get healthy again, Mark, and that's a biggie right now. The running game's starting to gin a little bit, but once again, think about this. Coming back, the expectations, coming back from 8-man, I'm not so sure, but I feel bad for the seniors out there that are giving it they're all, and so you want them to go get that other game in them. But we've talked about this time and time again. Coming back from 8-man has been a struggle for all the teams, and we'll find out. I know you'll have the numbers next week.
Yeah, of course. Another team that came up from the 8-man ranks is Cutter Morning Star. And listen, the Eagles may not be heading to the playoffs this year, but sometimes there's nothing more dangerous than a team that has nothing to lose. Look for them to give it everything they have. They're on the road at Magnet Cove trying to knock out another big conference victory. The win over Two Rivers, I think, was really, really positive for this program. Magnet Cove is certainly a winnable ball game.
Oh, it very much is. And sure enough, you got two teams respectively coming up from 2A to 3A. And it's just going to see who shows up that night. But once again, this is a game that they're going to push as hard as they can and get to what they, start developing for next year. And, you wish the seniors go out, especially that one certain quarterback we've been talking about a lot, to get some numbers up and hopefully seeing him play on Saturday.
Yeah, best of luck to Peyton Mills for a bright future ahead. Tracy, here's a big one. We've been talking about it pretty much all season long. Jessieville, Perryville, the number 2 seed in the conference, and a home playoff game is on the line here. Perryville is undefeated on the road this year. They travel really, really well. And Jessieville just really has the one blemish, tripped up by Glenn Rose in the Beavers' house. If you're a Lions fan listening to the show, here's my advice. Bring yourself, bring the family, bring the energy, because this is likely going to be one of the best games in all of Arkansas Friday night.
Up and down the field, Mark. I'm telling you what, there's going to be a lot of territory covered on that game. And Mustangs have had a really good season. They've got a really great running style quarterback that can really chunk the ball. Also, defense for Jessieville is going to have to put a stop to that. But you're right. This is the seeding. Home field at this level means everything once you get to the playoffs. And the Lions coming up big this time. I think last year in the playoffs, they were a little disappointed on how far they went. But if JT's got them in the right direction, you're right, though. This would be one humdinger of a ball game.
Here's another team that is in the postseason, but now trying to hold tight on its position. Hot Springs. It's been an up and down season for the Trojans, no doubt about that. But now 2 big games lie ahead. You've got Camden Fairview for senior night coming up on Friday. This game, and of course we know Lakeside's coming up. This game is going to determine the Trojans' identity going into the postseason. They're trying to get that elusive playoff win, okay? It's not just making the playoffs. They want to win. They want to go farther than they have in recent memory. This is a team that needs to get red hot right now and upset someone. The winner of this game is likely number 3 in the conference, and Hot Springs would love to have that high seeding to try to make a deep run this year.
Yeah, and they may not get the home field advantage at first, but eventually it'll come back to them if they get out there and get a W. But they've still got a lot of work to do, Mark, and don't want to overlook this team coming up. But you certainly don't want to lose faith in that last game, which we know is going to be a barn burner. So you know what? Hey, Mark, it's all in their hands right now. I'd love to see the Trojans play at home.
And, of course, Lakeside gearing up for that Hot Springs matchup. Lakeside going to be taking on Parkview in that Halloween showdown. This is going to be a huge game. All eyes are going to be on this one on Thursday night in the state of Arkansas. Conference championship on the line. Lakeside, I believe, looking for 6 in a row in conference plays. So, hats off to the Rams. Best luck on the road. Parkview is an extremely tough place to play. but Lakeside has the opportunity to do something really special.
If they come up with a W on this could actually vault Rock into being one of the, talk of the town at every, event, not just over in Lakeside, but around the state, because we know what the Patriots are all about. It's just that simple. Not only ranked top in their conferences, but also in the state. It's going to be a big one, but this will be something. If they win this, it'll vault them into talks like Lakeside used to get back when Chick Austin used to be there, one of those kind of deals. And we know what it was like back in those days. And so a lot of work to do to come out of this, going into this game, but to come out of it with a W be special.
It will be absolutely special. Last on our list, Lake Hamilton at Shiloh Christian. Long road trip on Friday night against another solid team in this conference. And while the Wolves are certainly still feeling that sting from the Greenwood loss, how you respond down the stretch is still within your control in this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they went to Greenwood University, of course, and since then have been a little bit on the lackluster, but you know what it's all about. Tommy seems to have these kids get geared up, in the playoff run, and I think that he's getting healthy again too. He had a couple of his star guys on defense, out. So we'll see what happens with that. Wolves are really up in the air right now with what they can do with what they have as far as offense. And so Tommy, if anybody can get him ready, Tommy will do it. You know that.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, still that seeding. Because you know what it's like. I mean, they go to Lake Hamilton, play out of Lake Hamilton. It's tough. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, especially because most of the teams in that division, there's no easy way to get to Lake Hamilton. Think about everybody else coming from all corners of the state. Lake Hamilton's kind of just out there.
It's out there. Yep, no doubt about that. A lot of great teams around the region, though, here, Mark. And we're looking at Garland County and the surrounding areas. One of these teams in this little 3-4 county area, I think they got a very good chance of winning some states around this area and making a big name for our little Diamond Lakes area, so to speak. It's going to be something special, whether it's the Lions of Bismarck or the Lions of Jesseville or the Leopards of Malvern or the Badgers. One of these guys, even a Panther may even step in there from Benton. They're really
can't discount Benton and Bryant always.
And Hornets are alive, and so around this region there are some really great teams and some great coaching staffs and some really good schools. So I think this is going to be something else. It's pretty special.
Yeah, I think you're right. For years, Northwest Arkansas has kind of dominated in high school football with your Fayettevilles and your Bentonvilles out there. But, now I think that attention is really shifting back to Central Arkansas. I know Conway is just kind of outside of that KVRE bubble, but they're certainly in the mix as well. But the way that the game has shifted and the talent has risen right here, just like in the heartland of Arkansas, it's very inspirational, a lot of fun to watch. And I agree with you. I think not just one, I think multiple teams will be bringing home state championships this year.
I think, and also the probability of these kids looking up and seeing the Russells of the world playing, on the hill right now.
Yeah.
And the potential to go and at the next level. And of course, with the GAC right here in our backyard, the Arkansas teams are very dominant in that league. And so I think, these last 2 or 3 games, especially if you go to the playoffs, they get to really show their stuff. And that's, I'll be honest with you, the first 7 games, yeah. But then the coaches, the scouts, they really start keying in on these playoff games and looking at seeing what these kids are capable of doing, because they've been working all, scheduled long. And now let's see who's really going to rise to the top and become the best, because that's what the scouts look for. And I think the potential is out there for these kids. So I can't wait, Mark. I know you'll have all the numbers, and I can't wait. We'll see what happens, though, buddy.
That's our show this week. You can text us all week long at 501-915-1300. We're here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE and streaming online at kvre.com. For Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday. Thanks for listening.
Game's over.